We'll call this meeting to order at 6:32. And Pat Colvin sitting in for Keith Paris, will be here eventually. And Norman Matt Madison, the Conservation Board. It's our liaison from the town board. Stan Ryan's with us from BME to review a project 7200 Rawson Road fill. The applicant is requesting the placement of fill material approximate 42,000 cubic yards within a 10.3 acre area. The existing 22.5 acre property. Ordered fill material is proposed to facilitate future development of the property. You just give us an overview of the project and we'll take it from there.
So once again, Ryan Destro from BME Associates. As you mentioned, we did apply for a fill permit for this property. The property was previously rezoned to PDD, and currently there's an existing light industrial structure on the eastern portion of the property that borders the town of Victor, village of Victor municipal boundary. The remainder of the property, the residential portion of that previous PDD permit never proceeded, and then the PDD rezoning has since expired. We have simultaneously submitted a PDD rezoning plan with a concept plan application to the town board for their review. As you mentioned, this does include approximately 42,000 yards of fill over 10 acres. The site, as you head north off of Rawson Road, does dip down pretty severely. The fill is based off of a conceptual grading plan that we have prepared off of the conceptual layout that was submitted to the town board. It's to bring the site up so it can be developed. This all really came about. The applicant has the opportunity to potentially obtain some material from another project in the town of Victor. So that's why we're proceeding with this fill permit application. There was previously another fill permit that was granted for this property. If you can kind of see the existing contours just to the west of the existing light industrial building, there is a mound there where previous fill was brought onto the property. And there's an existing stabilized construction entrance that was installed for the previous fill operations. So we'll look to maintain that. We're also avoiding the natural features on the property. There is a New York State DEC delineated wetland that we've delineated on the northwestern corner of the property, as well as a stream that bisects the site from east to west and then heads north through the existing wetland. So we are avoiding all of those areas, and we've prepared a grading, construction, erosion control plan to accompany this application. We do show extensive erosion control measures for this, primarily perimeter silt fence, orange construction fence around the limits of the existing state wetlands. We're also proposing diversion swales, check dams as the fill operations progress through this property. We'll also, should this be approved prior to the introduction of any fills on the property, we'll complete the project SWIP. We'll also apply for a general permit from the New York State DEC, and the SWIP will be submitted to the town of Victor as well as the DEC for approval prior to any fill operations, and we would look to obtain the New York State DEC general permit prior to that. So that gives an overview of what we're proposing. I'm happy to answer any of your questions or go over anything you'd like to on this property.
The initial fill, where did that come from? Was that from road projects or something in town a couple of years ago? Is that same
I
project?
don't know the exact source, but it was local material.
Yeah, I think I remember the same property where they were pulling it from. I don't know if they were milling the roads or something, and they brought that in.
Typically, that's a scenario because it's obviously the optimum when you have a local source. It's the trucking times are less, the costs are less, so it's available.
Yep.
It's something that, especially on a site like this, if it is available, like it potentially is now, That's why we're proceeding with this application to take advantage of that.
And is everything already delineated and marked off, your wetlands from the previous fill, or you're gonna re-mark everything?
We've redelineated the wetlands recently, so we do have an updated area of their limits mapped.
Any sense of how long it would take to fill? Probably tricky.
It depends on the construction operations from the site that we would be obtaining material from. But the preference would be to have the fill operations completed or significantly completed this year, but construction may potentially moving forward next year should the PDD rezoning be approved.
Makes sense. I'm somewhat familiar with the site. Is it? I feel like there's kind of some brush there now. Is that
Mhm.
what I'm thinking of?
It's not really wooded. It's a lot of overgrown brush primarily. There are some larger trees potentially in the wetland area on the northern limits, but the majority of the property really does not consist of any existing wood, mainly overgrown brush, smaller trees. Makes sense.
You mentioned a stream or creek. Where can I find that on here?
So it enters the site kind of centrally located just to the left of where the Rossin Road label is. And then it's labeled the tributary on Ontario 108P.
Okay,
And then it heads west
through the wetland.
and then north through the wetland.
Okay.
So we're showing the town of Victor 75-foot stream buffer off of that. And then we're also showing the 100-foot adjacent buffer area for the New York State wetlands that we've delineated.
I don't have anything else.
Really, yeah, I mean, familiar with the property. Not a whole lot of besides the wetland.
Right, you're clearly staying away from.
Yeah.
Mhm. Pretty much answered all of our questions at the beginning as far as parking everything and staying away, that erosion control. Nothing coming out really. Already fill there. And just continue to put more in.
Yeah.
So you're staying away from the Auburn Trail as well, looks like on the backside.
Correct.
Looks like the roadway.
Yep.
Temporary roadway or whatever kind of runs back there, but other than that, there's no disturbance to that.
No, ultimately, the intent is to have a trail connection from this project to the Auburn Trail.
Is it is it gonna be commercial?
No, this is residential.
It could
So
be residential in the future.
currently, as I mentioned, there's an existing light
Mhm.
industrial building. That's one portion of the PDD. The remaining portion is proposed to be residential. And the application that we've submitted to the town board consists of 8 single-family detached lots and 61 townhome units in May. So this is what we submitted to the town board.
I see. So the roadway that the trucks are using can follow.
Right, we showed the outline of our conceptual layout to do this conceptual grading plan.
Middle here, so that's all. Cool. I mean, I know this isn't in front of us now. I was just trying to get
Come
a
down the
feel
road,
for.
right?
Yeah, I know it helps sometimes for reference,
Yeah.
just to understand what's proposed.
Yeah.
Keith, any thoughts on your just jump in, but just jump in, no? Additional comments, questions?
Not for me.
Thanks, Ryan. Basically don't have any comments, it seems like you're pretty buttoned up with the project. Chief?
You back for phase two, whatever phase this will be.
Correct.
Great. Thanks for coming. You're welcome to stick around. Got other things to do.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
It looks like it's not pouring hard yet.
I know.
No, not just, yeah.
Let's make a run.
Thank you for your time.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
guys.
All right, we'll move on to the mobile graphics building addition. 7120 Lane Road. Applicant is requesting approval to demolish a pre-existing barn or shed. Construct a roughly 7,500 square foot building to support their existing business operations. The building will have two one-bedroom accessory apartments. The 1.76 acres property. Anybody have a chance to review this?
Yeah, and I used to live right down right off the lane there, so I went by it a million times. I'd say that I would call it a shed that's back there right now. It's cuts all the way against the throughway, like you can see.
Yeah.
So you can see there's nothing of value to us to the conservation board there. So I have zero issues with it. If anything, seems like it'd be an improvement aesthetically, at least, even though it's not an improvement, but
Yes.
that's it. I don't think there's any, there's any water back there at all. It's flat, it's just mowed grass.
There's no fish at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's flat. So that's
Very
my
straight.
take on it.
Straightforward.
Yeah, you drive by twice a day for.
Really? Yeah.
I think there used to be another back there that came down in a fire a million years ago.
It's not disrupting anything. It's just
No.
basically take down and rebuild.
Yeah, take down, rebuild a little bit bigger, I guess,
Yeah,
but
with apartment,
yeah,
kind of not for us.
no. It's basically already developed land that is repurposing, not even repurposing, just putting it. I don't remember, did it mention like a driveway being extended back there? I guess that technically doesn't matter either, but. 'Cause I don't think there's anything that
so.
goes all the way back there.
In that. Sure.
I mean. It's back there. Yeah, that's all existing. It's.
Yeah.
gravel. There's not even anything back there. is there? Yeah, it doesn't.
Oh. Okay. So I guess they will be adding more,
Yeah, parking spaces, they will put them in the back maybe. Again, it doesn't.
but it's gravel.
Oh, this is.
I think so. Gravel. Same.
Oh, okay, so. Everybody comes in now and goes this way, it's gonna all be gravel later.
Yeah.
See that in pavements, that's.
Yeah.
Um. There are things, I mean, that all back there. A lot of things. Oh, all right, there you put one tree.
Yeah, there's one.
X marks spot, yeah. See the tree on there, right next to it, looks like.
Mm.
I mean, I. Yes, it's-
We have them at a buffer for the way to think. I don't have any other.
Buffer for who, the construction people or the
Throughway.
motorists, yeah,
The motor.
which is more of a nuisance. Yeah, that, I don't have any other comments.
You know, I mean, it's very straightforward, easy.
Moving on. Other business approval of the April 18th minutes. It's not here, so.
I got through them, they were long, it
Yeah,
was a lot, but we already put our comment, I think we had no comments, right, or no adjustments to it, so. I'll make a motion, we approve them.
Great. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
April 18th minutes approved. Any other business?
Most quiet.
Quiet, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Meeting adjourned at 6:40. Oops, I'm sorry, a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that
it.
motion.
Moves.
I'll second Keith's motion.
There you go.
Thank you both. Being adjourned at 6:48. Sounds like I missed a doozy on the 18th then. All the notes for the minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine, no, it's.
It was all the pole barns, right?
Mhm.